We're joined now by Rabbi Asher Lopatin, Executive Director of the Jewish Community Relations Council, and Cathy Cantor, from the National Council of Jewish Women. She is their state policy advocate for Michigan. They have an upcoming event called Hate is Hate. We are all at risk. What can we do together? That event coming up on October 27th, and they join us now to talk about that event. Thanks for being with us today.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So we will start with you, Cathy. Tell us a little bit about this virtual event that will be happening on October 27th. What will be discussed at this event, and how can the public participate?
Thank you. Thank you, first of all, for having us, because we do want to get the word out. As you said, the topic is hate is hate. We are all at risk. What can we do together? And that's the focus. This is the second in a series that we've done on anti-Semitism, and this expands that whole concept. When we were planning this webinar, we recognized that hate crimes seemed like they were higher than ever before, and a little research showed us that we weren't wrong. I think the FBI reported that hate crimes are at their highest level in 12 years, which is pretty horrific. And we decided to expand our original intent of anti-Semitism to include many groups who are affected by hate crimes, hate action, and get their perspective. How's it affecting their communities? How are they working together? And how can we all work together to stand up against hate and hate crimes? And I'm thrilled with our panel. Our panel could not be really more perfect for this event. It includes Senator Stephanie Chang, who is a Michigan State Senator from District 1, Saeed Khan, a senior lecturer in the departments of Near East and Asian Studies and Global Studies from Wayne State University, Shirley Stancato, who is the principal of SRS Advisory Services and also a member of Wayne State University Board of Governors, in addition to being the past president and CEO of New Detroit. And since he is here today, I will save him for last, Rabbi Asher Lopatin, who is, you gave his credentials, but he's done so much more than that, because he's been instrumental in setting up coalitions between some of these groups. And what we want people to come out of this webinar with is hope and inspiration, that by working as Rabbi Lopatin has done to gather groups together to stand up to hate, that this will even increase that. And who knows, there may be some jumping off points from this webinar, and we may be gathering together and creating super coalitions of people who just want to end the hate speech, and the hate crimes. So that's it.
So, Rabbi Lopatin, let's talk to you a little bit about this too, because as Cathy mentioned, there's been a lot of studies on the rise in hate crimes across the U.S., and actually a new Department of Justice report that was released last month in September showed that from 2015 to 2019, there was a 59% increase of violent hate crime victimizations reported by victims that were motivated by bias against their race, their ethnicity, and their nation of origin as well. And that's obviously on the more severe side. But even on the more minute side, and there's no really minor version of hate. Hate is going, like the title of the event says, hate is hate. But you were quoted previously by saying that there's a disconnect between people who believe that they are good people and some of the behaviors or the ways that they speak that may inherently be hateful without them directly knowing about it. What are some of those different ways that happens, and what should people really be aware of as they're approaching talking to people of different walks of life than themselves to be more sensitive of this and reduce hate in that way in their own lives and in their own actions?
Wow, thanks so much, Tyler. It's a great question. And as Cathy mentioned, and really excited to be on the panel, excited to be on this show today, which is broadcasting not just to Michigan, but civiccentertv.com. You can get anywhere in the world, right?
It is true.
So, the idea really is that within this context of the of hatred that has on the increase and intolerance, if we can bring people together, that is the first step in sensitizing ourselves to the other. And it is fascinating. We have Coalition Black and Jewish Unity. We have also our Muslim Jewish Advisory Council. So we have Muslims and Jews coming together. And we're working with Hindus and Jews with a fellowship and a Chaldean Jewish fellowship. I think the idea really is we need to resist the temptation just to stay within our own. And we've heard a lot about on Facebook, these algorithms that try to push us to just stick within our own group and our own opinions. And we have to break out of that. And that will make us sensitive, because exactly the quote that you said, I think we have good people all over who just and have different narratives, very different narratives. The Arab American, the narrative of a Shia Lebanese American who's here is going to be different than an American Jewish Zionist who lives here. Different narratives, even conflicting narratives between Ahmadiyya Muslims and Sunni Muslims, or Hindus and Muslims. But we have to be sensitive to each other's narratives and be able to come together without hating each other. And so removing hatred is not removing difference. It's not saying you're right and I'm wrong, or all right, or anything like that. It's just really learning how to be sensitive to each other and kind to each other, and civil with each other. So I think the more we can come together, things like even this panel, but really in general, on an individual level with your neighbors, do a lot of work even in Southfield and Oak Park, wonderful place where there are many Jews and many African Americans. The more we can come together, we can sensitize each other and fight hatred and fight intolerance.
And what I like most about this virtual event coming up on the 27th, and for those watching and listening that want to learn more information or register for the event, they can do so at ncjwmi.org, ncjwmi.org. What I like most about this event is that you're focusing on hate through the lens of anti-Semitism, but without the focus necessarily being only on anti-Semitism, but really being on the parallels between anti-Semitic hate and hate in other forms of different ethnicities, different races of people, and other biases that are out there, and discussing those similarities and how those apply to not only the hate itself, but the ways that hate affects those communities as well. So we get a broad scope of things from a lot of different people.
Could I add one thing to that?
Yeah.
One of the real important things, and Rabbi Lopatin talked a little bit about this, we don't have to agree with every group. What we can agree on is hate speech, hate crimes are bad. Mm-hmm. This is something that and we will have more impact in stopping that if we just put aside any other differences and join together to combat hate and hate crimes and hate speech.
Yeah, and I think you're right. And Cathy, the more we have bad news about this, and that Asian Americans are victims of this, and Muslims and Hindus and beyond Jews and beyond African Americans, the more awareness we have, the more opportunity we have to fight hatred together and to certainly spread love, but even respect and a desire to work together. There's so many issues that we need each other for, and we need to work together, that hatred is just something that is unacceptable and gets in the way of all the good work we could do together.
And we live in such a diverse community here in southeastern Michigan, and we have such a diverse population, not only across the state of Michigan, but all throughout the U.S. and certainly all throughout the world, that it's important also that we have these conversations to get a better understanding of what is considered hateful or harmful, at the very least, speech from one group of people to another, so that if nothing else, we can increase that awareness. Because as you said, Dr. Lopatin, in many cases, you can believe that these are good people that are just mistaken or are unaware of the ways that their behavior may be perceived or interpreted or be hateful, and we need to increase that awareness so that we can provide solutions on a community level and on a broader level as well.
And we're happy that this event is at no cost. So just by going to our website, you can register and sign up and attend.
And so will there be a opportunity for Q&A or for audience participation, or is this directly just a panel discussion that the audience will be able to intake for free through your website?
That's a great question. And the answer is there will be a space for all of the attendees to ask questions. We anticipate that there may be more questions than we'll have time to get to, in which case, come back for our next webinar, I guess. But we will answer as many questions as possible.
And again,
because I hope people that are a little, what are you, kumbaya, and everyone loves each other and everyone agrees. If you're feeling that way, come on this also and listen to it and push back and say, how can I disagree with someone without engaging in insensitive language, in harmful and painful and hurtful language? So whatever you're feeling, come on board and put your questions where appropriate. And we will really try to get to the challenging pushbacks to our conversation.
Again, the event is Fall Focus 2021. Hate is hate. We are all at risk. What can we do together? That virtual event is on October 27th. You can learn more information about the event, register for the event, and submit your questions for the Q&A portion of the event by going to ncjwmi.org. ncjwmi.org. That is the website for the National Council of Jewish Women in the state of Michigan. We are joined by Cathy Cantor, their state policy advocate, as well as Rabbi Asher Lopatin, the executive director of Jewish Community Relations Council in AJC Detroit, with us on the MegaCast. Just another minute with the two of you before we let you go. Anything else that would be important for our audience to know about this upcoming event, or any other events coming up in the future that may focus on this issue of hate crimes and hate speech, or any other important societal issues that are similar or related to these?
Well, I would just say Cathy, go ahead.
No, go ahead. You start.
Just, diversity and different opinions are a blessing, and different races that we have in America, different ethnic groups, different religions, they are not something to fear. They're something to embrace. They add to the richness of our land. So let's find ways of embracing each other rather than ways of hating or being insensitive to each other. It's just a blessing. The more people that disagree can get together, the better.
Yeah, absolutely. You can learn more information about this event and hear some of those ways that we can come together and live a more sensitive and accepting lifestyle on a societal level by going to the website at ncjwmi.org. That is the website for the National Council of Jewish Women for the state of Michigan, ncjwmi.org. This event, Hate is Hate. We are all at risk. What can we do together? It's on October 27th. Rabbi Lopatin, Cathy, thanks for being with us today.
Thank you for having us.
Appreciate
Thank you
it.
so much. Thank you.